What surprised me the most for sure was that she was part of killing Brайс. I mean, I was surprised that she didn't do it herself, surprisingly. Like, I wanted to be the one that did the last push. But, yeah, it was interesting.
Well, probably rightfully so.
Yeah. That was definitely the most shocking part for me.
The cast of 13 Reasons Why is weighing in on that shocking season 3 finale. Spoiler alert, it's Alex and kinda Jessica who are responsible for Brайs's death.
Why are you here?
He's with me. I didn't know for the first episode. Like, when we filmed the first episode, I didn't know, but I found out maybe a couple weeks into filming, and I was, like I said, I was mad that I wasn't the one that did it.
Why not sleep under the stars and, meditate on how hard it is to get the world to let you change?
Jess, please.
Justin Prentice dishing on the final moments that led to Brайs's death.
Zach! I'm gonna f up his other day and wreck his life! You're not gonna do anything to Zach. You set me up!
Yeah, I think that's even still in character for Brайs. I don't think it means that he hadn't learned anything kind of on his journey that he'd taken up to that point. I think he was trying to seek out amends in his own way and kind of what that meant to him and how he felt he could go about it. And then obviously he, like in reaching out to Jess, he was met with, walls, rightfully so, a lot of the time, and he didn't really know where to go from there. So I don't know. I don't think his response to Alex, I don't think that nullifies what he had learned up to that point emotionally, how much he'd grown. I just think that Brайs is pushed to default back on his old behavior in certain circumstances, and you see that with different characters. You see it a lot with Dempsey. So even though he can be loving and empathetic towards, one character, perhaps, Ani, or, in some instances his mother, that doesn't mean that he won't immediately default back to his years of being sort of the alpha aggressor when provoked. And I think this is a moment where he's definitely provoked. He just got his ass handed to him by Dempsey, and this is sort of his last kind of knife to the gut. I mean, there's not much he can do there, just lying helplessly there. So, it was really interesting. I thought it was done really well, I think. And I think it was an interesting way to end it.
Oh, shit!
And he's revealing when and how he found out his character was doomed.
Yorkie, our showrunner, took me out to lunch before we came up here to start filming season 3, so I knew ahead of time. There's a scene where Ani and Clay are talking about something mysterious that happened to a character, and I'm like, that's suspicious. And then Yorkie emailed me like 10 minutes later, he's like, let's grab lunch. And I was like, no, yeah, I know where this is going. And he's like, hey, sit down, you're dead. And I'm like, guys, I assume so, cool. But then he sort of explained kind of the arc of the season, and I was all on board with it. I was excited, and I think, I was looking forward to showing a different side of Brайs.
Brайs wasn't the only season 3 death, though. Viewers also learned Monty died in prison after being wrongfully blamed for Brайs's death. And of course, Monty's struggle with his sexuality was a major storyline.
It's a couple of different things. It's definitely the jock, toxic, masculine culture. I don't think it's easy for them, or they feel like they can't come out under the circumstances. And then his home life, you can see right away his father is a little bit, very closed-minded. He uses very inappropriate language, and I don't think he ever felt comfortable, at home, even entertaining the idea that he might be attracted to men. I think you see in the final episode, his dad comes to visit him, and he's asking him about the assault with Tyler, and he says, what are you, an F word? And, in Monty's mind, he says, what, maybe I am, what if I was? And his dad kind of comes down on him. I mean, I think you see right then and there that it's just, there's so much more to Monty's story than that meets the eye.
As for season 4, here's what the cast is saying.
I want to see something good happen to Tony. Yeah. There's been a lot of bad for everybody, but he kind of bears the weight of this thing as the secret keeper and has been there for Clay and Tyler through some immeasurably rough times. So I'm just hoping he gets a sliver of light in all that darkness to end this thing, but we'll see.
Yeah, I have the same feeling for Jessica. I just hope that she's able to graduate high school as a strong, independent woman who's able to move through the world and not defined by her trauma.
Well, I mean, I would hope through season 4, whatever Monty's relationship is in that season, that he would be able to kind of resolve some of the issues or come to peace with who he is as a human being, and maybe rest peacefully, I guess. I don't know.
I feel like we've told a good bit of Bryce's story. I feel like there's a nice bow on his storyline, and the audience doesn't want to probably see much more of him.
Oh man,
We've seen enough. We've seen enough of Bryce. No, I mean, I think we laid it all out there. I think, you know, we got to see the side of him the first couple of seasons. We get to see the flip side of that, I think, a little bit. We get to see the other facet of Bryce, or at least him trying to hone another facet. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he's been pretty well explored. I feel like as an actor, I feel relief in moving forward with my life, knowing that we kind of put it all out there and explored everything we can with the character.